So first of all, please let our students know about your institution and what kind of programs it offers.
Perfect. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. As you heard from the team here, but again, a quick introduction of myself. Again, my name is Karan Salgotra. I'm the Global Business Development Manager for South Asia for Niagara College, Canada. And we are located in south of Ontario in one of the most beautiful regions in Canada, right next to the amazing Niagara Falls, welcoming over 14 million tourists every year. We have two amazing campuses in the region of Niagara, one in city of Welland, one in city of Niagara on the Lake. Niagara College offers more than 130 programs, and we focus on applied and experiential learning. That means a lot of our programs have co-op terms, have projects, a lot of students engage with the communities and the working sector. And what we do the best, we provide state-of-the-art facilities and learning experience for our students to have them ready for the workforce as soon as they graduate.
Okay, moving on to next. Students are very confused whether to choose a public institution or a private one. What's your call on this?
I'll be a little biased. My recommendation for students is to do your own research, understand your own core strength and skills, and then find the right programs which is suited best to your learning abilities and the future outcomes. Of course, when you're doing your research, you will find many of these programs are available at many public institutions. Ontario has over 24 public institutions, and they all offer some great education and great programs. So in the current landscape, studying in Ontario, it is favorable for studying at a public institution. But again, go back to the first point I said, learn about yourself, learn the program you want to study, and then come down here. If you're unable to do so, come down here, talk to the counselor, and they will help you choose the right institution and the right program where you should be taking the right direction.
Okay, sir. My next question is there any difficulty for international students for finding part-time as well as full-time jobs in Canada, and how college will help students for the same?
That's a very great question. As you may know, with the current landscape of education, but also immigration in Canada, Canada as a country has welcomed many new amazing immigrants from very different from as a new permanent residents, temporary workers, study permits, from all different areas of streams. What as an institution and a country offers is helping them to be prepared for real life world working experience. So at Niagara College, that starts from very beginning. We help students get them ready to, from very basic, making a Canadian resume, learning where to apply the jobs, learning how to apply the jobs, doing mock interviews. These are steps need to be taken way before they even start their first part-time job. At Niagara College, we take a lot of pride on creating student job opportunities, right? So we focus on making sure the students have access to many of those job opportunities similar to what they would have outside, also on campus, to develop their more skills or to develop their own character. Our co-op and our career services team helps students to find part-time job while studying. Niagara region is very famous to employ students in retail and service and hospitality sector, and those jobs are available for all the students regardless their background of education. After graduating, right, when the students are entering the workforce, that help and that services continues as many employers continue to come to Niagara College to find very high skilled workers. We do it from many different either it's directly reaching out to the teams and re-uploading those jobs to our Niagara College Career Services website, which students have access to their portal, or hosting large-scale job fairs on site on both our campuses, focusing on the stream of education taught on those campuses. These helps and support continues to grow, and we continue to add on more service to make sure our students continue to get the best opportunity while they're studying and after they graduate.
So moving on to next, according to you, what factors should be taken into consideration while choosing a good institution by the student?
Again, a great question. I've been in this industry for a really long time, and I will tell you my answer based on what I've seen from students after a year or two. Continue to meet students on campuses. Sometimes students are doing very well. Sometimes our students are struggling a little bit. I can tell you the difference between students who are doing very well. They from very beginning chose a program which was area of their own interest, where they wanted to gauge more information, wanted to learn more. Second, it was very compatible from their own learning skills, their own limitation. Third, they wanted to have a program which strengthened their own current skills. So a student who does a very well research in finding themselves where they do the best, or where they might lack some of the areas. If you're lacking in some of the strengths, those can be built. As an institution, that's what we do. We provide education, but additional to education, we provide support. So if a student is struggling in one subject, we help them by peer tutoring, by academic drop-ins, by having help from professor, but students do need to show up for that. But the best way to eliminate all that is going and picking a stream which you're truly passionate about. It's a very simple formula. What do you want to be from 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself working? Which industry you see working, right? If you're not sure, it's best for you to get counsel by the professional team who knows the programs and the areas from many different colleges, who can advise you based on your strength and your interest, these few programs. And once you've chose the program, ask the students to go and review the curriculum. Not just for first semester, the whole 2 years, 1 year, whatever the length of the program. Check out the curriculum, see all the subjects, read about the subjects. Are there any particular subject you might struggle on? Is there maths you might not be really good at, you want to do? So you have a couple options. Either you develop your skills on those areas prior, or you take help when you're at the institution. But for a very successful student, it's always the best to go where your passion lies, to go where you're really truly keen to study and gain the knowledge, and then continue with that area.
How good are the co-op options and campus placements these days in your institution?
Absolutely. As an applied learning focused institution, our programs, many programs offer a co-op term. So quickly give you an understanding, what does a co-op term mean? In our local understanding, it would be considered something like internship. So a co-op term is a semester a student would go on expedite to work in the similar sector of their education for at least term. It could be a couple months, could be a couple weeks, working either full-time or part-time, but it's an experiential learning. So outside the classroom, working in the field, in their area of education, full-time, part-time, whatever they're doing. But the idea is to apply the theory, what they have learned, into the workforce, but also practically learn from the background of how today's workspace work, right? So doing both helps students to be prepared very well moving forward. For our program, some programs would have a co-op term right in between, so the students will study 2 terms, they'll have a 4-month co-op term, and they'll come back and finish last 2 terms. Some program you have co-op at the very end, so student would study the program first, and then the last semester they'll do their co-op, and then they'll graduate. For all the co-op term programs, they do have to complete the co-op term to be able to graduate. One of the good things about most of the co-op programs in Ontario are paid, right? So these are paid working opportunities. Students would continue to do so. So think of it as training, think of it as internship, think of it as learning, think of it as a practical experience accumulation. But more than ever now, I do feel like co-op programs will be very interesting, but also very popular, because students are now more keen to get working experience prior to they graduate. Students are keen to learn, and it does help them a lot as they graduate with a very strong resume of showing a work experience that makes them a very high employable candidate. As it's needed in the workforce, as newer jobs are appearing, newer businesses are being built. People want employees with some set of skills already established, and co-op terms, internship terms help them with that.
Okay, one major concern we are getting from a student is that, is it possible to manage their cost of living through part-time jobs in this region?
Really good question. If I would have to give a very straightforward answer, what I would say is relying on part-time job solely to recoup cost of living plus maybe potentially paying part of the fee is not a realistic expectation. The reality of the world is, post-COVID scenarios, cost of living has gone up everywhere in the world. It has gone up in India, it has gone up in Philippines, it has gone up in Canada, it has gone up in US, every part of the country. that impact have we continued to see as other economic changes continues in the world. Um, Government of Canada made a very strong decision a little while ago that there is a need of restructuring in a GSE format. That's why the cost of GSE has went from $10,000 to almost double. And why there was a need? The need was when you do a breakdown of GSE scattered around 12 months, there is substantial initial amount which is needed, which goes toward rents, groceries, bills, and other expenses. So to make sure students are supported, institutions and Canada as a country want to make sure the students have that well-reserved financial, so they don't end up in a financial crisis. The last thing as an institution, as a country, we want our students in financial crisis. So additional to the help with what they're getting amount from GSE, plus their part-time job, yes, it is very affordable in terms of what your budget is. Every individual has a different budget. What I always suggest our students, at any point if you're feeling that you are leaning towards financial struggles, what you want to do, come to Niagara College International Office, speak to our housing and settlement team. We have a dedicated settlement team who will do a bunch of budget activities with you, which will help you put in the mindset to create a very realistic budget, a realistic student budget. Sometimes without even knowing, we are spending money in the places where we shouldn't, right? It's very easy to take out your debit card, credit card, tap without keeping track of it. So when they do this budget activity, it gives a very realistic image that what are your non-negotiable expenses, your fixed expenses, your rents, your bills, these you have to pay, and where all the extra money is going places. There are many students who do very well by working part-time and having the GSE money to support themselves, but sometimes students struggle, but that's where we come in to help. So we will help students and we continue to educate students about the realistic cost of living in Canada and Niagara region, and also realistic expectation for students as well.
At last, according to you, why Canada is a better choice for international students for higher education?
Perfect. Canada is still very much welcoming and very much open for international students from all parts of the world, as we did historically always. Canada is a very immigrant-friendly country, top in peaceful living, top in education, but one of the most thing Canada provides is great quality of living. Right? As an institution, as a public institution, I always like to say, we like to welcome our students on our campuses because we focus a lot on student services. We want to make sure a student get the best experience out of their 2-year, 3-year, 4-year of education, but they would get somewhere else. Why is that? That's what an institution and that's what a country offers. A country offers a great holistic experience. It's not just limited to their education, it's not just limited to their working experience, and a whole holistic welcoming experience for a new immigrant. It's pathway to many different things, but it's the ability to learn and thrive in a new culture, in a new environment, in new weather, with the new people. And Niagara region is one of the most welcoming places compared to everywhere. From my own experience, I was an international student myself who moved to Niagara region from India. I still continue to live there for the same reason, from a very welcoming community and a supportive community. We have this saying at our campus that it takes a whole village to raise a kid, and we truly believe in it. Right? It takes effort from the student, but also take effort from other people to help a new immigrant survive and thrive. So Canada, ideologically, is still the same continued nature, and it's the same place where we want to welcome new immigrants and new people to continue, grow and thrive.
One major concern we are getting from students that if they are going after 12, they won't get PGWP. So is it true or not?
Well, it seems to me like a rumor. Every program a student will study in Niagara College with current rules and regulation, all our programs are post-grad work permit eligible. So student, if they're successfully completing those programs, if they're enrolled in Niagara College in those particular programs, they are eligible to apply for post-grad work permits. Those helps are given to them by our international student advisor, who all are ECS certified, and who can talk to the students for anything related to immigration, academics, and making their relation very possible. But also, through these amazing seminars and awareness campaigns we do, we continue to empower students to know, understand what is true and what is not true.
So, at last, any advice for the students who want to study in Canada?
The best advice I can give to any student who is thinking to study in Canada, who's already there, who's making their next step, or soon to travel to Canada, the recipe of success for a student is to show up, be curious, engage, and continue to learn. Do not limit yourself just to going to the classes, coming back, going to the work. That is not maximize your student experience. What you want to do is you want to take that experience all in. Your college time are going to be some of the best years in your life. I've spent 11 years in Canada. I still compare my college years to be the best time I ever had. The reason being the number of people I met, the number of engagement I did with others, the number of learnings I had from meeting other people. That built a very strong foundational and character for me when I graduated and I was ready for the world. So do not limit yourself, stay curious, show up for a thing, ask questions, right? And again, continue to do so forever, ever and ever. And there is your success. There is no limitation of success. So whatever you decide success is for you, you will certainly reach there. All you have to do is put a little bit effort. And when you do, you will find out there are so many people on campus, out in community want you to get to that point, and they will help you. So continue to do so. That's it.